it got down to the nitty gritty of the personal life. And when they started getting into the personal lives of the devs, I bailed out. F that. Not my thing. I only cared about the quality of the product, not about the person, not about their ethics or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think on the topic of things we don't really like about the game, you were mentioning to me in Vale about like the idea of how they kind of just bring this like skill issue thing into all their content.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah. So, this one's gonna be a hard one to talk about because there's moments where I think to myself, they might be sarcastic on purpose and they're trying to deflect it in a sense of, hey, there's a bug, it's a skill issue, haha. But you can't tell that over text.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's not sarcasm and they're genuinely saying it's a skill issue for their bugs, they're fucking delusional.
Yeah. Hey, my Ragnar fell through the ground with my 36 green key cards. We might fix that in the next 3 to 4 years. But for now, it's a skill issue. Anyway, have fun. Fuck yourself.
It's a genuine issue I have with the team when they say skill issue, because it then invokes rage in a lot of people because it's not a skill issue when it's a fucking bug in the game. Even if it's a sarcastic comment, we can't tell unless you voice it with a certain tone, or you have to specify this is a joke. We understand this is an issue. We're fixing it. That I'd be okay with, but with the unprofessionalism, and don't get me wrong, it sounds hypocritical because I keep saying cuss words all the time. The unprofessionalism of it really makes me believe that this is not going to go as well as they hope they will. Now, I can pray for them to get that going. I pray for them to make a great game because I know if they work hard enough, they can make it worthwhile. I mean, I played Iron Rebellion recently, and that game was in development for 8 years. And it's probably the best VR game I've ever played. No joke, no half-ass shit. Iron Rebellion, it's a mech game. This game, you press so many buttons because it's a realistic kind of like mech. It's like futurist. And you have to press buttons to start up the engine, press the button to start up the visuals so you can see in front of you. And then the last button actually makes your mech walk up, and then you can press all these other buttons like the kill streak. You gotta press this button, slap in a chip, and then there's a kill streak that happens that you can use for each mech. There's so many things in that, and then you can also do adjustable like armrests for it. Right? That kind of effort I want to see in CWS, and I know I will see it, but again, I'm impatient, and you made a live service game. So people expect something in return for that live service, and especially paying $40 of investment money to them to make those updates happen. But I understand there's technical issues that happen. They're a brand new studio too. And to me, I'm okay with that. And I have to keep that in the back of my head because I keep forgetting about it a lot of the times because there's so many early access games out there that to me, early access is the new norm, which is now the new release of games as the 1.0 release, which is why I criticize Tabor so much, because I identify early access games now as a 1.0 release. If they don't have a base foundation good to go by the first game by like the next like 3 to 4 updates, I don't know if they'll succeed.
Because nowadays most VR games are just early access.
Yes.
Yeah. Blade and sorcery. Give me 1.0 and my life is yours. Please.
It's already 1.0.
No, not on Quest.
For standalone.
Oh, for Quest. Sorry, I had to laugh at your standalone user stuff.
I hate you. I'm gonna come to your house and take your PC and tickle your toes and then leave.
No, I feel really bad for standalone users because Blade and Sorcery is such a good game. But to get back on topic, I think the skill issue part is annoying. I think it's tedious and it makes everyone mad. And I feel like since the kids are now saying it, now they're trolling everyone. And the Discord is a cesspool. I'll be frank. Like, I would be surprised if they banned me first and not ban someone else who says some really, really offensive stuff that's against the rules. I'm all down for freedom of speech, but you better understand the consequences of what's going to be said. That's the thing. Moderators need to take more control and ban people who say stuff like that or anything along the lines of that, let alone on the rules. That's my beef with the Discord thing. And that pissed me off because if I was a moderator, I would instantly ban him.
No, he got banned. He got banned.
He got banned?
Yeah, Spoon said he's gonna mute it if you keep it up, and Scott said, nah, f***ing mute, and then he banned him.
Here's the thing though. It wasn't the moderator who did it. It was the f***ing dev. The CEO had to come in. The moderators have to take the charge and actually f***ing ban them. Or time them out for weeks, if not months. That's not okay. In my opinion, that's just me. I'm a moderator for a couple Discord channels. Like I know Jakey Pants. I've been playing with him a lot. He's a really cool content creator. Someone tried to make a comment saying, "Hey, this guy says this word," this was edited. That comment was edited. Originally, it said, "I love your videos, Jakey," and he liked and hearted the comment. Then the guy edited it and say, "Jakey says this naughty word that you're not supposed to say." And he then said on the Discord, "Yo, bro, you're gonna get canceled." You know what I did? I said, ban. I couldn't ban him, so I had to time him out. But I said, okay, Jakey, come here. I need someone as a moderator to ban this guy instantly, because I would have banned him on the spot.
Yeah.
Instantly. Done. And that's frustrating to me. This whole entire thing, Tabor in the community, the game, it's all frustrating. And it's not a good frustration. It's not like, oh, I'm so close to the progression. It's, why do I have to deal with this shit?
Yeah. The game's good. The community, it has its ups and downs.
Very much so.
Never join Hayden Spar's Discord. That place is cursed. Like one of the channels called Oiled Up Pics. It's bad. Yeah. Kind of off topic, but kind of still the same thing. Weird community.
Those UK kids.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know. I just am frustrated at the game because logic is not there right now for me. It just doesn't make sense.
It's more about like the management of the game right now that's pissing you off, right?
I don't blame Scott, but at the same time, he has responsibility as the one who is leading the charge, right?
Yeah.
So he has to take some responsibility, and I know he probably does. When I talked to him, he seemed like a very passionate guy, and we can get into that drama talk unless you have another question that doesn't relate to that.
I think we could skip this question if we want to get into that.
It's not really anything. It's like on the roadmap. Do you think it's going the right way? It doesn't really matter. So yeah, let's get into that.
On the roadmap, I mean, I could just say, I guess I don't like the streamer DLC stuff and adding in more DLCs, but at the same time, you got to make a bank for your buck, and got to keep the servers up. And I know servers are expensive, so it makes sense.
So about I guess all the drama you've been hinting at. What does that entail?
So I like to talk about this story because it makes me realize a lot of things about myself as a person, but also makes me realize what the situation I was in and how bad it was. So I originally made a video called Ghost of Tabor Sucks.
Yes.
And people agreed with me in some aspects. Some of them disagreed and said it was a skill issue. Haha, funny. Go and put on your big boy pants now. But this video got so popular, it got 13K views, which is abnormal for me because I usually get 1K view or even like 500 views.
Yeah.
And that video came out, a lot of people were like, wow, I have to take into consideration why Ghost of Tabor sucked. Then, and only then, did I look at it, I'm like, okay, maybe I did make some comments here and there that probably weren't really warranted. Like, looking at it, I'm like, And I disagreed with someone, which made me make another video about like Ghost of Tabor is terrible, and someone said that I was wrong, and they made a video on me, and I responded back to that video. Now that's not the drama. The drama came up when I made the second video why I said Ghost of Tabor still sucked. I called Tabor and the devs out for it being a almost copy and paste of Tarkov, including the exact same logo design in comparison to what Tarkov has for
its quite similar, yeah.
It's very similar, but not exact. So it's not a copy per se.
Yeah, that's like
inspiration.
I also stated that like there was a lot of other issues that I've had with it because even after a year of development, I'm so confused on why they would add. This is the Bunker Cat update, the controversial one. I said to them, I said that why would you add a cat in the game when there's a lot of other issues that need to be focused on, like weapon handling and the economy and stuff like that.
I don't know why people hate on that. I'm gonna be honest. Like Bunker Cat's cool. Like it's useless as all shit, but it's cool, and I take it.
They put their money on that asset alone just to put it in there, and I get it. If it's an asset, cool, whatever. But they have to code it so that it would follow the ball, it would eat the food, it would sleep somewhere in their bed, and stuff like that.
It was kind of a waste of time, yeah.
And especially like in a game like that where they already have priorities that they need to take care of before adding extra content like that. It's just kind of
like if they added in the charms first, I would have been like, okay, that's an easy one to do. I wouldn't have complained, but they added in a cat. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And that's not even the biggest issue I had. I had the issue with them making 2 more games afterwards, right? 2 more games, even though the game that they already have is early access right now and it doesn't feel good. And I think, in my opinion, when you play other FPS games, like the newer ones, like Veil VR, Contractor Showdown, they feel tons better than what Tabor has.
Veil feels polished for sure.
Yes, and Veil and Tabor have very similar cycles in terms of like how long they've been developing, but Veil has a little bit longer in terms of like maybe 6 months of development. But they did a 1.0 release, and the game is slam dunking every other arena shooter that I've seen so far, and including like competitive. Like, have you seen the prize pool for some of the competitive Veil VR sports?
No.
I think it was like 75 grand.
Jesus Christ.
Maybe I'll have to double check. You can look it up. But it's it was an abundant amount that you would never see in VR, and they pulled that. And now they're making other things like the new game mode, the extraction shooter game mode. They're making a new PvE mode. They're making a campaign for the damn game.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
that would be fun.
Yes, and guess what? They have their foundation polished. They had that down to a T. Now I get it. It's an arena shooter. It's easier to code than it is to code maybe Tabor. But if you look at Tabor and getting into Raid, it's like similar. It's very similar in the aspect of going into a round of Veil VR.
Yeah.
But it's just extended to 30 to 45 minutes.
And the rules are slightly different. But yeah.
Yes, it's yeah. I don't like the movement in Tabor either. I wish there was like a sprint feature instead of it just being a automatic jog. I wish there was like a way to hold up your gun and then move your arm to get extra speed or movement speed. That's just me. I would like that. And maybe like a slide. But that's far in the future because obviously they need to focus on what they need to focus on. And with 2 more games coming out, I said, okay, I understand assets, but like it just kind of feels a little bit wrong. And then seeing how many employees they have back then was just like earlier in May this year, they had almost 25 employees, and then they're going to split it up between 2 games, which didn't make sense. But now Scott has 50 people, I think, or 45, and they split between the 2, which now I'm more okay with. But the drama, and the drama came up when Nova ZQ got into my DMs in Discord. And he told me that he agreed with me, and him, Tritus, and Nova ZQ's manager were cooking up something of a rebuttal to Tabor. So I was like, okay, I'm interested. What do you guys have to talk about? I'm not in it, by the way. I'm just here to listen. And as I'm listening to the stuff, they're talking about how a lot of the game's assets were being used by other assets. So like people, they would buy assets for the game. Now thinking about it, like before, I thought I was like, that seems a little odd, but I'm like, okay, that makes more sense because it's hard to develop as an indie dev studio. So you would need the asset help. Over time, it got much worse and worse, and there's so many things that I want to say, but I can't because it got down to the nitty-gritty of the personal life. And when they started getting into the personal lives of the devs, I bailed out. F that. Not my thing. I only cared about the quality of the product, not about the person not about their ethics or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So
wasn't Nova Q the one that got called out by Tabor for his?
yes,
Yeah, I watched that. I think.
Are we talking about that guy? I kind of sorry.
I sent it to you guys.
I do that sometimes. Yeah, we're talking about that guy who, like flamed Tabor, similar to how that guy flamed Mr. Beast because they like stole assets or something on Monster Underground.
They didn't
It wasn't
steal
stealing
assets.
it. It was just like
they bought it.
Yeah,
and they had the dev actually hired afterwards as well, which good on them. That's awesome. That's fantastic work. Here's the thing though. That video that Nova ZQ did is almost similar to what I said. Everything for those videos.
Yeah.
From the copy of he copied my joke of said, hey, it looks like this title is the kind of way it's like saying, hey, can I copy your homework? And they say, yeah, but just make it not look like it's mine. Kind of
you
work.
said that, right?
Yes, I said that first, and then he used my joke in that video.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm like, okay, all right, whatever.
So basically, he saw your video and
he rewritten it to be his own work. In some cases, it made sense because those were the biggest issues. So a lot of people may have similar aspects or the way they say it, or like the problems themselves. But the kicker was when they responded back, the drama came up that there was something with Scott in his personal life and him doing self-defense, but people identified that as something else. And so to me, I said, wow, we're really going that route? No. Gone. Not worth my time, not worth my effort. That is above and beyond what I was going to do. I was just going to shit on the game because I want a quality product for the investment that I made into the game, not going into the personal lives of the developers. And the other thing is that this was posted on Reddit. This was posted everywhere else. And it got so bad that in the Discord, they had to slow down by like 5 minutes in the Gen chat. It was bad.
That's crazy.
That drama led me to get the interview with Scott because he was a little skeptical, and I said, I understand that completely. However, I just want to know what you said. And then Scott's like, your video just made it sound like, the game sucks, asset flip. It wasn't verbatim, but it was the tone that you set off. And I was like, yeah, I did sound like a bitch. I'm not going to lie. So in that aspect, the drama came up to be very personal with the dev team, and there were some things that were getting locked and loaded by the other guys that I'm not going to go into because that is scary stuff. And not only that, but what came out of it was good transparency. I appreciate the devs acknowledging that they are using assets. I appreciate the devs also acknowledging that they are working hard and they know that some of the stuff is not optimized. I 100% understand them. And after them being more transparent like that, I appreciated it. But there's still issues in the game that need to be resolved. And I feel like it's just the way that it's designed and the way that I don't know how to explain it. It was just a lot of drama that came up. I was so scared out of my mind during that entire time because it got so bad. Like, that thumbnail for Tabor on that video was originally Nova ZQ's thumbnail, which was funny. But Tritus was the one who made that thumbnail. And he made 3 more thumbnails that would have led to the demise of either getting banned on YouTube or Tabor getting so much flames that it would have been terrible. Yeah. Now, I don't know how it would have went down because we didn't get to that moment, and I'm glad I didn't be part of that. But it was pretty bad. And it was so bad that like people started flaming Scott in the creators channel. And I only know about this because Nova ZQ was originally in the creators channel. And someone said something like, I think Scott, like this is during 4th of July, someone said, oh, I bet Scott's trying to get drunk off his mind so he doesn't remember his fallen comrade. And that was up.
Wait, on July? Who'd he lose on July? On the 4th?
No, he lost. You know that old picture in Tabor's old bunker with him and Scott?
No.
That's his friend.
Oh.
So he had a friend who died, I think, in battle, if I recall. I'll have to double check. I might be wrong. Please correct me, Scott. If you're watching this video, please correct me. But someone did go, and then someone in the creators channel was spewing that nonsense. And Scott was like, why are you saying that, man? That's up. Which it was. And the drama came out of it, and it enlightened me to realize I need to be more patient with the game, because I was being very impatient. But a lot of people still agree with me right now. Even my older videos getting so many views right now, and people are commenting, yeah, this game still sucks right now, somehow in some way. 6 months later.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a big yapper.
I feel like this kind of brings up my problem. Us, I guess, created Tabor Tuesdays, and, we just thought it'd be fun, whatever. And we give Scott shit for not updating the game because, I don't know, we give him shit for it. We don't obviously mean anything, like when we found the Combat Waffle Studios address. We don't mean anything by it, like, we're just fucking around, but I give him shit for everything he does, and, like, not everything he does, for not updating the game a lot. And at the end of the day, it's just jokes. I realize he has his own life, he has his own problems, everyone does, and he has things going on, and like, he can't constantly be focusing on just Tabor, and I realize that.
Yeah, but and the thing about it is that with him not focusing on Tabor, I feel like he's trying, in my opinion, and this could be wrong, I feel like he's trying to find that businessman escape route, which essentially is the idea of making so many things and then gaining so much money out of it that he sells it to another company so that he doesn't have to worry about it. That's his end goal. And as a business person, that makes sense. But that also means that the quality of the product may not be as good.
It may be better, but I would miss Scott if he ever did that, and the whole Combat Waffle Studio.
I think it's just it's going to happen either way, sooner or later. Scott's probably going to retire one day. He's going to leave, and he's going to let someone else be the head starter or the
make
CEO.
It viewy. Make it viewy.
Do not make
it viewy. No,
he's not a developer.
Personal opinion, I don't like Viewy's content. I think it's kind of awkward for me. Okay. I just don't like it as much.
I love Viewy because we reached out to him, and he actually responded to us about the episodes because we wanted to see if we could get.
Yeah, I don't blame him as a person. I just think I just don't like his videos as much. But yeah, in terms of that whole spiel, the whole drama, and then like beef with Scott and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't have beef with Scott. Honestly, I apologized about like how I came across in terms of my video, but I'm still gonna make my stand in the points I made because I still believe in them. Right?
Yeah. Fair.
So it's similar to like, I'm sorry for being a big yapper, but it's very similar to, I would say it's very similar to how people react to someone who keeps saying, this is going to happen. And then someone finally asks, is it though?
Yeah, that actually perfectly sums it up. The situation.
Yeah. So it that's what bugs me is like, if you're going to do it, then do it. And I know they're probably working on it right now, but like, dude, seriously, you say that you're going to add in these features 8 months ago, like the leaning, and I'm going to keep flaming him for that because it's still, I think, the longest featured thing that he's trying to add in, but took so long, and it's still not up. And I'm like, okay, why don't you ask the fucking guys from Breachers VR to help you to understand it a little bit more? Or try to get it out in like a small content update. Make small content updates. You don't always need to do big, giant content pushes.
Yeah.
You don't always need to do that, in my opinion. You should be able to make small content pushes for that to work. But they did that before originally back then. So it's kind of like...
Have you talked to like any of the guys at like Triangle Factory before? Like,
no, and to be honest with you, the only devs that I know is that I actually talked to is Veil VR's devs. I know a little bit of Combat Waffle for some of the moderators and the devs. Like before they decide they went big, I was able to contact them and like ask him like direct questions and DM him. Yeah. I know about Dalen Dawson. I know about Battle Talent. I recently started reaching out to Iron Rebellion. I know the CM or the community manager into the Radius, which I got both free keys from Into the Radius 1 and 2, and they believed. And I was so happy, dude. I was so happy because I thought that shit was like fake. I thought it was spam.
Yeah.
I thought it was a trick email. But the other thing is that like now, since I'm becoming a bigger content creator now, I'm starting to get these intriguing junk emails that are not junk email, like Hig VR, the guys who make the stock VR stocks, right? They contacted me and say, hey, do you want a free VR stock and make a video on? I'm like, sure. And they're sending it right now as we speak. Same thing with like a couple other like sponsors and even Battle Talent. I even contacted Battle Talent. They're like, yeah, we can get you a key. Still haven't got my key, but I still contacted him.
Yeah. So the thing with like sponsorships,
have an interview, but you know they're busy, and I get that and whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, you could probably get in contact with Into the Radius devs. You could probably ask them questions. They probably
Into the Radius devs want to do a Tabor interview.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe we should like expand our.
No, we are Tabor Tuesday. Shut up.
It's okay.
So here's my suggestion: if Tabor decides to follow through and not succeed, and everyone just hates it, you might need to switch to something else and make it more.
We
open.
will.
Yeah, sorry.
It has been an exceptionally long video. That doesn't mean anything. It's just longer than our usual videos, which is fine. We don't mind that. Usually, I would say, have an excellent evening. Well, you should still have an excellent evening. But usually I would end this with trust no one, but in honor of Rip's Actual, I'm gonna do something a little different. With that said, have an excellent evening. Thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and raise hell, praise Dale, and burn down the Applebee's. Bye-bye.
Here.